had spent my entire life raising my sister alone, sacrificing everything for her happiness. And there I was, standing at her wedding, smiling through tears, when her father-in-law, in front of everyone, insulted me. The words hit like a punch. But what he didn't know, I wasn't just anyone. And when I stood up and asked, "Do you even know who I am?" the color drained from his face, and the entire room went silent. If you've ever been underestimated, disrespected, or humiliated by someone who thought they were untouchable, hit that subscribe button, like this video, and stick around, because this story isn't just about revenge, it's about reclaiming your power with precision. Let's dive in. My sister and I were inseparable, not because we had it easy, but because life forced us to lean on each other. Our parents had left early. My mother passed away when my sister was just a baby. And my father, he was gone in every sense that mattered. So I became her mother, her protector, her guide, and yes, sometimes her disciplinarian. I worked multiple jobs, sacrificed my social life, and often skipped meals so she could have hers. I watched her grow from a shy little girl into a confident, radiant young woman, and every milestone felt like my own. Every scraped knee, every heartbreak, every graduation I was there. Every smile she wore, I helped shape. Every laugh, I silently celebrated. And then came the day of her wedding. I had dreamed about this day almost as much as she did. I imagined walking her down the aisle, seeing her eyes light up, hearing the music swell, knowing that she was stepping into her future with the men she loved. I had even convinced myself that I would feel nothing but joy. But weddings are full of surprises, and some of them are cruel. The moment I arrived at the reception hall, I could feel tension bubbling from nowhere. I noticed how everyone else was smiling, but my sister's husband's family, something was off. The air felt thick, suffocating. Then it happened. Her father-in-law, a tall man with a booming voice and a sharp tongue, decided it was the perfect moment to welcome me to the family. Except, of course, his idea of a welcome was an insult. "I see they let anyone raise a girl these days," he said, loud enough for half the hall to hear, and smirked as if he'd just delivered a masterstroke. The laughter around him was small, polite, but my chest tightened, my throat burned, my vision narrowed. I could feel every drop of blood rushing in my ears, my fingers clenching into fists at my sides. For a moment, I froze, not out of fear, but out of disbelief. All these years, all the sleepless nights, all the sacrifices, reduced to a cheap punchline in front of strangers. I wanted to lash out, to yell, to shatter him with my words, but I knew that would only feed the chaos. Instead, I let the moment linger. I could feel the adrenaline, the heat of anger, but I told myself, wait, watch, plan. I straightened my back, lifted my chin, and let the silence stretch. Every eye in the room was on me now. I could see confusion flicker across their faces. The arrogance in his expression faltered just slightly. "Do you know who I am?" I asked, my voice calm but cold, like ice sliding across stone. The hall went silent. Even the music seemed to hush in anticipation. He blinked. Then his smirk faltered. His eyes narrowed, trying to find the laughable little girl he thought I was. But instead, he found authority, presence, and history he hadn't considered. You raised your sister alone?" he stammered, the words coming out weak, almost incredulous. "Yes," I said, "I did. Every night she cried, I was there. Every time life knocked her down, I picked her up. I gave up my own life so she could have hers. And every moment of it prepared her to be the woman you see standing here today." Now there was silence. Real silence. Not polite laughter or awkward coughs, but complete, palpable tension. The kind that wraps itself around your chest and makes every person in the room lean forward, waiting for the next word. I took a step closer to him. "So before you make a judgment about me, about my life, about what I've done, ask yourself, do you even know who I am?" The color drained from his face. The bluster, the fake confidence, the smugness, it all collapsed under the weight of truth. He opened his mouth, trying to respond, but no words came. And that was the moment of victory. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't insult him back. I didn't even shame him with my words. I simply let my reality speak louder than his arrogance ever could. And the entire hall saw it. Everyone saw it. My sister, glowing in her wedding dress, was crying now, but these were tears of gratitude, of love, and of respect. Her husband, watching the moment unfold, was no longer laughing or smirking. He finally understood the depth of the woman who had raised his bride. For the first time in years, I felt pure, unshakable pride, not for myself alone, but for the life I had built, for the sister I had protected, and for the silent battles I had won without the world noticing. The father-in-law shuffled, his face a mix of embarrassment and disbelief. The arrogance that had defined him for so long was gone. People who had been his allies, expecting him to be dominant, now looked at him with uncertainty. And in that uncertainty, I found satisfaction. Justice doesn't always roar, it often whispers, but it lends with precision. Afterwards, the wedding continued, but the dynamics had shifted completely. I could feel the respect in glances, the cautiousness in speech. No one dared question my role, my sacrifices, or my authority. And in that moment, I realized something important. Revenge isn't always about humiliation or chaos. Sometimes it's about presence. Sometimes it's about letting truth and dignity speak for themselves, leaving those who underestimate you to recognize the weight of what they've missed. The father-in-law never recovered his arrogance that day. He tried to act normal afterward, but every polite nod, every forced smile, carried the memory of that confrontation. And I walked away with my head high, feeling liberated, vindicated, and undeniably proud. I had not just defended myself, I had honored every sacrifice I had made, every sleepless night, and every moment of dedication. For my sister, it was also a lesson. The people who truly love and protect you often do so quietly, without seeking applause, but their presence alone can move mountains. And for everyone else in the room, a reminder: underestimate someone who has faced the world alone at your peril. Sometimes the people who think they can belittle you aren't powerful, they're insecure, short-sighted, and arrogant. True strength comes from standing tall, knowing your worth, and letting the truth do the talking. The most satisfying victories are earned, not demanded. Have you ever stood up to someone who underestimated or humiliated you? Share your story in the comments. I want to hear how you reclaimed your power. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, because these are the stories where dignity, courage, and justice prevail. Who doesn't love a little poetic justice delivered perfectly?